Ultimately, just so we're all on the same page, what we will end up doing is the notes that Katie is taking, we'll take back, we'll make copies. One set of copies would go to the city, one would go to you, and then we'd keep a copy. I would also write a summary report. This is what I found. These are my recommendations, and hopefully give you an idea of the amount of water you can save, translated into the water costs, how much money you would save by making the adjustments, and if you request it, we can give you based on some very quality contractors that we know what the cost of making those repairs would be, those types of things, so you can at least balance out, this is what it'll cost, this is what I'll save. In most cases it's a real easy yes that you're going to save much more than it's going to cost you to make the repairs. A lot of times you'll see it in the first year, other times it'll take a couple years, but it's still highly recommended. Another concern is the mixing of spray heads with rotors on the same zone. Spray head precipitation rate is about 3 times as high as the rotors. Even though the rotors put out more water per head.
So that's a rotor and that's a spray head?
That's a spray head, yep. Okay. This one's going to put out a single stream and move.
Okay, great.
Covering what it needs to cover. The spray head is going to put it all out at once in a fan pattern. Okay. So by putting them together, you're going to get a lot more water in this central area right around this spray head than you will in the areas around the rotors, just because of the much higher precipitation rate. That would be...
So the sprays have the higher...
One of the things that we are real high on is the smart controller technology. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
What it is weather-based control on a residential controller. Now it works off of a paging system, the sites that we would recommend it, and that's a fee for service. But what it does is it takes the weather data and only irrigates when it needs to irrigate.
Oh, wow. That's fancy.
Significant savings can be made. They're going to be
more expensive.
Yeah, I would say probably about double the price of a conventional irrigation controller. My suggestion is you would probably get that back within 2 to 3 years at the most, just in water savings and the money related. Here's the deal. You have certain areas that are going to be dry, and you're going to have certain areas that are going to be wonderful.
Right.
You're living with the slightly dry.
Right. But on the other side, aren't those all fine over there?
Well, they're better.
Right.
They're better because you don't have the damage, but you're still battling the issue of not matched precipitation rate heads and sunken heads.
Right.
And so that's gonna, your uniformity might creep up into 35%.
Okay.
We wanted about 60 to 70. Okay. If you make the changes that you make, that I've discussed so far, you are going to bring your uniformity up to about 70%, 65 to 70, which is going to be an improvement about 3 times the water that you're putting down. The amount of water you're putting down, you should be able to save about 75%. Going to a 70, let me redo the math.
So fixing 2 heads and then raising up the
Raising up all the heads, making the changes with the sprays and rotors, and making sure that the nozzles are appropriate. And I'll outline that in that summary report of what I mean by that. If you make all of that happen, and you should be able to at least cut your water bill in half. Based on last year. Probably a little bit better than that, but I don't want to get too optimistic. Your system, and I want to make sure you understand that the framework's good. The framework's good. If spacing was bad, you'd be talking about basically a redo of your irrigation system. I don't think you need to go that. It could be a lot worse. And honestly, that's the issue that's going to face a lot of